Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Trains with Shane. We have another Will It Run episode on us today. I've been buying some used motive power lately. How surprised are you? Some of it with a tiny bit of focus, some of it just kind of a flash in the pan. I saw it and I had to have it type of thing. Varying degrees between here and there, you know. So, what do we have? We have a bump of the camera here. Get the glare out of the way. We've got a Bachmann under their Spectrum line. There's our item number. It's an SD45 Great Northern number 400, which they called the Hustle Muscle. A pretty cool little unit. It is still around today. I haven't gone in depth into researching this, but from what I was able to put together, this started out as Great Northern unit 400, then was put into Burlington Northern and painted green. They still kept the Hustle Muscle name on the side from what I understand. And at some point it was either donated or sold to a short line or a tourist railway somewhere that I saw, and they use it for excursions and stuff. So this unit that has been repainted to its original colors like this still exists today, and I thought it was cool when I saw a video of a startup, which I'll link in the description. This thing, and what was the big to-do about the SD45s, they were 3,600 horsepower, and what EMD had done is they took their amazing 645 prime mover, which have been used to great effect in its 16-cylinder form in SD40s and GP40s, GP38s. I don't recall if the 40s and the 38s used the 12-cylinder version, but like with any series of EMD prime movers, they were available in 12-cylinder, 16-cylinder. I think there were even 8-cylinder versions in switchers, although I'm not sure they did that throughout their history. But what made them cool is that there was part interchangeability. Similar to the old Detroit series of two-stroke diesel engines, which were used in tugboats, military equipment, over-the-road trucks like Peterbilts and GMCs themselves. The name has to do with the cubic inch displacement of a single cylinder. So in the case of the Detroit diesels, you'll see like a 671 or an 8V71 or an 8V92. 8, of course, being the number of cylinders, V being in their V configuration, as opposed to the 671 being an inline 6. 71 cubic inches per cylinder, and you can multiply that and get your total engine displacement. Same thing with the big EMD prime movers. The 645 or 645 cubic inches per cylinder. The cylinder liners, pistons, connecting rods, all of that was interchangeable, what they call the power pack assembly, and I believe the heads were individual per cylinder as well, also swappable from either the 6-cylinder, or I don't know if they had 6-cylinder, but 12-cylinder, 16-cylinder. If EMD wanted more power, they just glued on a couple more cylinders, and that's exactly what they did. Instead of the 16-cylinder 645 prime movers that we had in the SD40-2s, we had 20-cylinder 645 prime movers in the 45 series here. Great. They went from 3,000 to 3,600 horsepower, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. EMD uncharacteristically suffered from a little bit of Alco-ism, and they didn't quality check these prime movers when they designed them because they hadn't ran a 20-cylinder before. Early engines were prone to crankshaft failures, and I believe even engine block failures. So a lot of these went back into service. Well, I say into service. They came out of service, went into the service depots, and I don't know if they replaced the 20-cylinder engines with like 20-cylinder engines, or if they just swapped these all back out for the tried and true 16-cylinder engine that had been an amazing and still continues to be an amazing piece of work to this day. So a lot of SD45s that remained were retrofitted and downgraded with the 16-cylinder reliable gemstone prime movers. I do think that some 20-cylinder units still exist. I don't know about this one, but that engine problem plagued the series. Also, they were kind of light, from what I understand. They didn't weigh enough for the amount of power and tractive effort that they were supposed to have. I heard that these were prone to wheel slip. They couldn't haul what they were supposed to haul. They were hard to stop because they would slip as well. So yeah, it was not a very good model in EMD's lineup, but I think they're cool looking. My favorite, of course, still is the SD40-2 and -3. Interestingly, there are SD40s out there, SD40Ms, which are SD45s that were downrated back to SD40-2 specifications and electronics and the 16-cylinder prime mover, but they keep the long car body. So they look on the outside like SD45s with the flared radiators and everything, but under the hood they're SD40s, and I think that's kind of cool. And it allowed a lot of these to avoid the cutting torch. So 7 minutes worth of useless history. That brings us to our little Bachmann Spectrum. A lot of hate out there about Bachmann Spectrum. I get it. Trust me, guys. If you've been a fan of my channel for a long time, I get it. I have worked on every iteration of N-scale Bachmann from the beginning and earlier Spectrums. I will say that there was an upgrade in quality when Bachmann brought out the Spectrum line. It didn't fix all of the issues, but it was an advancement in the mechanisms. If you guys go way back and look at the SD40-2s that I think were Canadian National, I bought a pair of those. They were garbage. I was able to get them running. They're still garbage, although they're running garbage. That's just due to those things being poorly taken care of and just ran into the ground. But it got us flywheels, which was something new for Bachmann. Other previous units didn't have that. They just had the small open side electric motors. So now we've got flywheels. We've got a better split frame chassis than they had before. Although Bachmann had adopted the split frame design early on, which was probably to compete with Kato, which that's kind of laughable because Kato, through their own manufacturing and their partnerships with Atlas, Concor, etc. early on, those guys were the heavies in manufacturing good, reliable N-scale locomotives, and even HO scale. Long story short, after doing a couple of little bits and pieces of research, I'm not scared to buy old Spectrum units, with a couple of caveats. I always pay close attention to the auction photos or the listing photos, and you guys who know the old Bachmanns know the saga of the white truck and axle gearing. I avoid those. Early Spectrum units did have the white nylon gears that were prone to shrinking and cracking. Later versions had the black nylon that was far, far superior and not prone to that. So when I buy an older Spectrum or Bachmann unit, I look for the black gears, and if it's got those, I'm usually willing to take the chance. Now, which isn't to say that I haven't gotten into some purchases that I totally jumped the gun on, excuse the mess on these things, that have the white plastic gears because I was in a hurry and didn't pay attention and just pressed the buy it now button. We may cover these one day, we may not, we'll see. Hit the thumbs up button if we've got any New York Central fans out there who love the 20th century limited lightning bolt scheme as much as I do. eBay purchase, okay. I was not the only bidder on this, which I was both surprised and about and kind of angry because I thought it was going to go all the way to the end. This thing went without bid up until about an hour before the auction ended. I paid only $2 more than the opening bid for it, so I'm okay with it. It went for more than I really wanted to spend, and I'll go into those reasons why here in a minute, but it's hustle muscle. You know, you got to have the hustle muscle. And we'll go into a couple other reasons why I spent what I did. So the seller that I got this from had a nicely put together listing, plenty of pictures, good description, details about what was good about this thing, what wasn't as good about it. And they also have a storefront and a website, and that's Model Train Market. I have purchased from them in the past and been very happy with my purchases. I have purchased from their web store. So I've bought from their web store and their eBay listings. I will do that depending on where I find deals and where I find specific hardware, because sometimes retailers will list something on their website for a certain amount of time, and if it doesn't sell there, they'll move it over to eBay for a little bit less money. Trainswithaz.com does something similar, although they, from what I've seen, they tend to list stuff concurrently. If it's on their web store, it's probably on their eBay store, or vice versa. If it's on their eBay listing, they'll give you their stock number to where you can go on their website and look at it there as well. So I end up buying a lot of stuff from Trains' website after finding their stuff on eBay, because using coupon codes you can get in a little cheaper. So that's a little hack for you guys. Model Train Market doesn't work exactly the same way, but again, I've purchased both ways from them, and I found them to be really honest with their used stuff. So this thing even comes with an inspection certificate. How cool is that? It runs well. It's got directional lighting. It's DC only, not DCC, and no sound. Here's, I'm guessing this is their inventory number. DM, whoever you're out there, thanks, buddy, for inspecting this thing. Here's the date it was inspected and whatever MTM stands for. I'm not affiliated with these guys. I buy all this stuff with my own cash, so this is a plug for them because I've experienced good things. So we're 14 minutes into this video. Let's get down to it. Got the standard like form-fitting plastic upper clamshell over a lower clamshell inside the hard plastic. A lot of times with these you'll get like clear, well, not clear, but kind of a milky colored, very thin, lightweight plastic sheet that is almost like cellophane that protects these things. Looks like we don't have that here, but yeah, that's okay. I like Bachmann's boxes. So some of the things I'm going to point out first. Let's get up here in your teeth. You notice that the handrails are kind of missing small pieces and have been glued back together. Not incredibly well, That was disclosed in the auction listing. I was fine with that. You notice we've got our knuckle couplers. I'm not sure if these are microtrains or McHenrys or what they are. I just know they're knuckle couplers. Again, guys, if you know what they are, put it down in the description below. Make a comment. The sunshade isn't very straight on this side. It's better on this side. See, we've got some paint missing. If it'll focus. It's weird. Usually we don't lose focus with this camera. There we go. There's some paint missing on the far handrail there, the inside. It's really missing on this close handrail here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be yellow or if that was a user modification. I'll find out one of these days. Otherwise, here's our hustle muscle. The paint is opaque. The parting lines between the orange and the green look pretty good. It's not too fuzzy, although it's not amazing. It's an old locomotive, guys. Things have gotten better over time. Molded in detail for everything, as you would expect. The fan grills look pretty good. Our exhaust is, in my opinion, way too shallow, but it is what it is. Our horns look like they may have been a user modified thing. You see, we've got some glue on our spilled on our walkway down there on our front pilot. Back this out a little bit. We go underneath, you'll notice we got our black gears. The grease on there, that's for me, my fingers. Our wheels are pretty clean. Spectrum by Bachmann, made in China. Our draft gearboxes are screwed in here, not glued, so that's good. If we ever need to change these for any reason or pull them out to adjust the height, it'll be all right. So anyway, I think it's a good looking unit. Again, I just laughed because of hustle muscle on the side, which makes you believe that it's fast and strong. So what do you say we get number 400 onto a test track, find out what it does and what it does not do. I'll see you guys over there. All right, guys, as you can see, we've got the portable switching layout on the disgusting workbench here. You guys seem to really like this one, so do I, so we're going to use it. We've got our Rokuhan N and Z scale controller down here on the far end. We're going to flip that on, pick a direction, and dial up some juice. Oh, here we are. Pretty quiet. I'm going to go out of frame here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop it, switch direction, and bring us back. A little noisy in reverse. Let's come back. She didn't want to go. I haven't cleaned this track in a while, guys, so that might be a reason for our yeah, she definitely makes a little noise in reverse, not horrible. At least she's not clicking. Lighting is directional. It does look like it bleeds into the cab. Might have to do some light blocking on that. I haven't decided if I wanted to keep the cab light or not. Full throttle in reverse here. I'm still running on the same batteries that I've had in this controller since I got the switching layout, so we're not dealing with a full 12 volts here. Let's reposition the camera here. Come back in. For a beauty shot. So guys, Bachmann Spectrum EMD SD45, Great Northern unit number 400, the Hustle Muscle. Will it run? Yes, it will. So I was going to touch on the reasons about how much I paid and all this. I paid more than I should have, probably. It was 62 bucks. And with the little problems with the handrails and stuff like that, you guys might be questioning the validity of that purchase. I paid too much money for it. Yeah, maybe. But you could pay a lot more for a used locomotive on eBay or Facebook right now. So for $59, it's not too bad. We're going to have another video and a discussion about pricing here in the not too distant future. I need to put my thoughts together on it. So I want to thank you guys joining me on another Will It Run episode on Trains with Shane. And until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.